Welcome to Session 5 of the Ecological Model Training Series. This is Dr. Don Paris. This session is devoted to the fundamentals related to student learning. Since this is such a complex issue for a majority of educators, 2 video clips will be devoted to this topic. First, all educators must evaluate 4 factors related to students' potential to learn. First, developmental maturity represents each individual student's uniqueness in terms of their growth pattern, any handicapping conditions, special education needs, and/or other developmental delays. Assume that on average, girls mature more rapidly than boys, particularly in language and social skills, 2 absolutely fundamental requirements for long-term academic progress. Second, basic knowledge. How much information has a student acquired just from normal living activities, particularly during the critical primary grades? Thirdly, competitive attitudes and motivation. This is a fundamental requirement for success in school. Students that excel typically have a high level of internalized motivation to perform. This quality is essential long-term as students progress through the grades and the academic material becomes more challenging. A lack of motivation or competitiveness often precedes potential problems with disruptive behavior. Especially at the middle and high school levels, students lacking this drive or ambition often become casualties and feel alienated from the rest of the academic environment. The fourth factor is attention spans and impulsivity. This is a serious factor in relationship to students' long-term academic development. This generation only spends 9% of its weekly hours attending school, whereas 53 hours a week are devoted to electronic stimulation. This is having a serious impact on students' potential to learn. Educators must be cognizant of this reality, particularly those educating students at the middle or high school level who are also confronted by puberty and the general issues of adolescence. The ability to stand tasks, concentrate, work independently, and finish assignments are all related to attention spans and level of focusing. This profound factor must be addressed if educators are to have a long, productive, and emotionally satisfying career, particularly if this trend continues and students become less attentive over the future decades. After evaluating the basic information presented, it is now imperative that all teachers examine potential student characteristics for their respective classes. As the demographics of our society are changing rapidly, all teachers can assume at some point their classrooms will consist of a more diverse, challenging population of students, many of whom require individualized support and special education services. Let's evaluate the list of characteristics as I have observed in multiple classrooms across numerous school districts in my consultation career. First, assume some portion of students will represent an apathetic, indifferent attitude towards school itself and obviously your classrooms in particular. These students are often unprepared, have a history of failure, come to school with minimal ambition or effort, and ultimately become problematic simply because of their neediness for support and specialized assistance. Any classroom defined by this group of students will become stressful unless teachers use a preventative model of interventions. The next assumption is to anticipate students having chronic school failure attending your classroom. These students arrive with histories of failure from even early elementary grades throughout their entire career. They're often absent, come unprepared to learn, and develop non-compliant behavior, which is highly stressful for a teacher lacking positive reinforcement techniques. These students will require personalized support and maximum attention to reverse this psychological attitude and this chronic failure that's dominated their entire school performance. Thirdly, students often enter class with an intense desire to socialize. This is more prevalent in the adolescent age range, but a dominant theme regardless. These students will consume energy away from instruction as they will try to dominate teachers' authority and control of the lesson. Therefore, a management system will be implemented to complement the instructional strategies that will be presented in the next video clip. Finally, some students, unfortunately, arrive with a very restricted view of their future goals and ambitions. This is most evident at the high school range, where students realize the mandates of testing, graduation requirements, and just a general academic rigor associated with those courses. These students are stressful in the sense that they often fail without any regard for its consequences. An innovative plan of action is absolutely necessary to reverse these students' learned helplessness and general sense of defeatism. This video clip has presented a basic overview of instructional factors related to student achievement. Video clip number 6 will offer an outline presentation of strategies to address these student issues. Following those interventions will eventually result in a higher proportion of students who are functional, independent, and oriented to success. Please review my website, donparis.com, for further details. Looking forward to your participation. Thank you.